The incumbent for place 3 on the McAllen School Board is not seeking re-election, leaving the seat open for a newcomer. CBS 4's Priscilla Estrada spoke to the candidates who will be running for that seat in the May elections.
McAllen Independent School District Board Place 3 is currently held by trustee John Ball, who announced he is not seeking re-election this year, leaving the position open to new candidates. Debbie Crane-Aliceda, Raul A. Moreno, and Mark Doherty are all running for the open seat in the May elections.
You need parents' voice on the board because the board was looking at things from up here and they weren't really hearing about things that were really happening. You know, the problems that us parents were having. We didn't have communication.
Sometimes we sit down and we think about the educational process, just trying to put out the fires today and not really thinking about 5 years in advance, 6 years in advance, or 7 years in advance.
We are educating the kids of tomorrow. They're the ones that are going to be running the country in the next few years. So education funding needs to be number one.
More educational funding is an issue all three candidates expressed, an issue that is also being fought by advocates statewide. Because according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the state of Texas had a negative 11% change in the total state funding per student and inflation adjusted in the fiscal years of 2008 to 2014. McAllen ISD proposed a $297 million bond in May of 2015 to allow more funding, which was rejected by voters by 70% because of the 16.5 property tax hike that came along with the bond. Crane sat on the board in place 1 during the time the bond was on the ballot.
The bond was it divided the board. It divided the whole community, and it was very unfortunate, but I'm very physically conservative. I just didn't think that raising people's taxes was the right thing to do, the right avenue. I also didn't think that every school needed to be touched.
Now, the bond, the way it was presented 2 years ago, I didn't agree with the way it was presented. Now, do we need to figure a way to find some funding for some upgrades in facilities or new facilities? We sure do, and that's something that the board is in the process of doing.
Hidalgo County is probably one of the poorest counties in the state, if not the nation, and then they were talking of somewhere up to around 17 cents that they were going to add to people's tax value. It's just too much.
Another issue that is talked about is the state legislature presenting a school voucher program bill during the 2017 session that would subsidize parents who want to take their children to schools outside the public school system, something all three candidates do not support. In McAllen, Priscilla Estrada, CBS 4 News and ValleyCentral.com.
School board elections are on May 6th, with early voting beginning on April 24th.